Hold on. Yes, we're going to start the lab event.
Point to me immediately. Good morning, Roswell High School. I hope everybody is doing well this morning. It is my pleasure today to introduce to you somebody that we've gotten to know who's already done a lot of work with schools in the community. His name is Kit Cummings, and I know you're going to find him to be engaging and exciting, but he is going to talk a little bit this morning about some of the many things he has going on that we're going to partner with him on, but including the Power of Peace Project. So a little bit about Kit. In 2010, he founded the Power of Peace Project. Using the experience he gained resolving conflict in some of the most dangerous parts of the world, he's applied his principles to bring about change in prisons, schools, corporations, and the faith-based community. Kit has been honored by the NAACP. He was also appointed to the Georgia House of Representatives Gang Prevention and Intervention Commission as a result of the passing of the anti-gang bill HB 750 under Chairman Representative Carl Gillard. So he has worked in over 100 jails, detention centers, and rehab facilities around the world, and he now brings his message of peace to schools, including some in our area. So again, we're very glad to have Kit with us this morning. So please, wherever you are, if you're at home or if you're at school, please welcome Kit Cummings. Thank you, folks.
Thanks, Dr. Shaw, and good morning, everybody. This is a long time coming. I've got an audience of 4 right here, so you guys are getting that. But I'm excited that this is being blasted out to the whole school. We started talking about this, Dr. Shaw and I and the staff, 2 years ago. We were making plans for this thing, not this message, but the program that's coming to Roswell, the Power Peace Project. And then we didn't know what was coming. We didn't know what was headed our way. But as Dr. Shaw mentioned, this thing started not as a school project, but as a prison project. And so it was 10 years ago. And it started in the worst prison in the state of Georgia, and it was a gang thing. And so I developed this process to bring rivals together, which is what we're doing in schools now. But in those early days, and still now too, it was bringing rival gangs together in a prison setting. And so it was a crazy dream. You can't plan that. That wasn't on my resume. That wasn't on my future. When I was your age, I wasn't sitting there trying, I'm going to try to work with gangsters for a living. And, but life just happens that way. And so, yeah, 100 prisons and jails really around the world, it changed my life. And I began to see the other person differently. And really today, wherever you are, if you're at home or if you're here on campus throughout the rest of your day, the way you see things is the way that you see things. The person next to you doesn't necessarily see it that way. And today, I want to talk about how you're seeing your future. And really, if you have a dream. See, dreams are born out of desperation. And that's why I carried my partner, Roots. Some of you guys have seen me on a stage sometime. I don't care if it's in, well, you haven't seen me in a prison. But if I'm in a prison, I got my brother Roots. You know, if I'm in front of a school, I raise his hand, I say, what's his name? And they yell, Roots. And so when we get to do a physical face-to-face thing, y'all gonna get to know him for real then. If I'm at a church and I happen to be preaching, which I get a chance to do, or if I'm at a corporate event, same thing. What's he mean? And they yell potential. And the reason why he's a partner and not just a stick. And I'll ask, you know, what do you see? When I hold this up in front of groups, and I've done it all over the place in other countries, it's like, what do you see? And people say a staff or a cane or a walking stick. Nobody has ever said it's a branch, which fundamentally, Roots is a branch. Because see, all you see is the package that's in front of you. You don't see the journey that led him to where he is now. He started his journey at the top of a 100-year-old oak tree downtown Atlanta. And that's a life, you know, I mean, if you got to do something, that ain't a bad one. You know, it's the breeze and it's the sunshine, it's the cool rain, it's the little birds perched out on, you know, Roots living a pretty cool life. And the reason I know where he was, at least in the vicinity, because I was working in an area called Lakewood. And we were doing some youth gang intervention and prevention work in a tough little area down by Lakewood Amphitheater. I bet you some of y'all seen a show there. And so if you go right, you get on the highway, come on back home. If you go left, you go into a tough community. Beautiful people, tough community. And so we're working there. And there's this little guy. He's a little smaller than me, dark skin, kind of wild dreads, cool beard, rock star glasses, missing a stem. Because his brother lives on the streets. His name's Roots. And so this is 2013. And so we're working, and all of a sudden this guy, he befriended me. I didn't try to befriend him. he became my friend. He'd always say, Brother Kit, you need a stick. I'd be like, why I need a stick? Because he always had these cool sticks. And he said, if you're going to work these streets, you need protection. And I doubt you're carrying a gun. I said, no, not about that. And he said, well, I'll hook you up. And so a week later, he comes and he gives me this. Now, it's been beautified and painted a little bit and adorned, but basically this was his gift to me. And if that's all it ever was, that would be enough. Because it was a beautiful brother, happened to be homeless, befriended me, cared about me, went and chose the perfect instrument and made it just for me, to protect me. See, everybody wants to be protected. And there's a lot of kids today at this school that they weren't fired up about coming today. There's some people that were, and other kids that aren't, that are going through things. All you see is the package. All you see is the way that the presentation, and it's easy to label and judge and profile, cool kid, not cool kid, you know, pretty girl, not so much, not right shape, not right size, not right color, not from the right part of town, not dressed right, not driving right. It's like there's so many things that are dividing us in this world because all we see is this, and we don't see the journey. See, he was living the life. You'd have never met him if it wasn't for the storm. So something happened that knocked him down. It was a storm, it was a wind, it was a lightning strike, it was an axe. Something knocked him out of his purpose, and he lay on the ground, and in an instant, he came from beautiful branch to piece of trash. Because something falls to the ground, it's in the way, and it's being trampled on, kicked on, stepped over, put aside, destined to be burned. I got big oak trees around my house, and so when a branch falls, I don't look at it and say, a treasure. I get it and I put it in a pile. It gets hauled away and burned, right? So he became trash, and he would have remained trash if somebody hadn't seen him, and it was one brother. And he was looking for something just like this because he had a purpose intended for it, and it was protection for his friend. And so he looked all around town. I don't know because I wasn't watching, but I guarantee you he was paying attention, and we found what we looked for. And finally he found one that fit the description he was looking for, and he went to work on that thing. And he came and he gave it to me. I lost him. You know, he wandered on. Probably it got real cold and he wandered off, whatever it was. He was a young brother too, just out of his luck. And he went east somewhere and I couldn't find him. And he had no idea that he took this nasty branch and he put it on a world tour. This branch has been around the world, inspired thousands of people, tens of thousands. I got a text message from the KSU basketball team saying, is Roots available on March the 7th? And I'm like, well, I might be. It's like they wanted him on the bench. You know, this dude's won 2 state championship rings, really 3. Oh, wait, well, no, 3 state championships. He's got 2 rings that are devoted to Roots. Roots got his own, he's got his own championship ring. They see him as love. There's something magic about him. And people just love Roots. They want to get pictures with him. He's a rock star. You guys will meet him. And when he's running down, I'm going to be around, you know, coming in the fall and working this summer with the football team. You're going to see him and you're going to yell, Roots, because the same thing they do in the prisons. But here's the deal. That person in front of you, they got a story to tell. They got a fascinating, unique story that led them to being in front of you. And you can't see it. All you see is the presentation, the backpack. All you see is the size and the shape and the color, whatever it is. And depending on how you see the world is how you're going to treat them, unless you start to consider that every one of you has a journey and every bit of it has some pain points. See, when you get knocked flat on your back, that is when the fertile soil is ripe for a miracle, for a dream. See, in 2010, I was in a dreamless state of life. Now, I was doing fine, but I didn't have a dream. Nothing was pulling me. And so I turned out to serve in a tough maximum security prison. I was thinking I was going to serve them, and they served me. And a bunch of brothers gathered around me. We had about 12. And I say all this very respectfully because I work with gang. We had Crips, Bloods, Gangster Disciples, Latin Kings, Aryan Brotherhood, and the Muslims at the table. And this became my field of dreams. And on Tuesdays at 4 o'clock, we would envision things together. What are they going to do if and when they get out? But then we caught a dream for what we could do with that prison. And the worst prison in the state of Georgia won Institution of the Year that year. And it put us on the map because peace came to that place as gangsters started coming together, used their influence for peace. And 12 years have gone by. And now many schools later, the same thing is happening. If we can get a dangerous guy to look at a rival differently and try to imagine his journey that brought him, he's got a compelling story that brought him to that place just like you. They learn to support one another's dreams. They might not hang out and sing Kumbaya, but they weren't sticking each other anymore. And all of a sudden the quality of life became better. I want you to pay attention to the person that's in front of you today. And I want you to honor their story. And see, if you don't have a dream, you won't respect somebody else's dream. You show me a kid with a big dream, and I'll show you a kid that stays out of trouble to protect that dream. And see, that's the program, thanks to Dr. Shaw and the staff, that we're bringing to Roswell High School. I mean, it's time. It's 2 years we've been talking about this, way overdue. It's called Protect the Dream. And here's the secret, and I hope you get this. The bigger the dream, the stronger the pull. The big thing always pulls the small thing. And so you show me a kid with a big dream, maybe it's to get a scholarship, to get a diploma, to go on and start his own business, to start her own mission team, to go to a distant land, to be an entrepreneur, to get a doctorate, to you fill in the blank, a D1 scholarship, a D3, I don't care. Any dream that's bigger than yourself, the law kicks in and the big thing pulls the small thing. On a Friday night, you got 2 kids at a party, man. You guys got a lot of